Peace, 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 family. We are now live, back with another video. It's been a minute since I've been on here, family. I'm glad to be back. Got a nice book review. Um, couple of my subscribers wanted me to do a top 5 book review for the year for 2025. So I decided to do a top 10 book review for 2025. You know what I'm saying? Books that help propel me to the next level. You feel me? My name is Michael Jordan, aka the Sirius Alchemist. You know what I'm saying? Back with another one. The Sirius Alchemist is back. You know what I'm saying? Took a little vacation. You know what I'm saying? Took a little vacation, enjoyed myself, enjoyed the family. You know what I'm saying? Things like that. So I am back. I am back with another video. So I got 10 books I'm going to review. You know what I'm saying? I got 10 books I'm going to review, the top 10 for 2025, like I said in the beginning of the video. But before I get started, let me get the singing bowl over here and get the energy popping in here. Get the energy right, get the energy smooth. I'm going to hit this 3 times. You know what I'm saying? Get the energy going, get the energy right. First one. All right, family, get that energy cleared up, get some smooth energy going up in here. Got that energy going pretty good. So I can get this book review popping. You know what I'm saying? Get this book review popping real quick. First book I got on the list is Shakti Mantras. And this book is a very powerful book when you're dealing with the divine feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? Using these mantras, you can bring about pretty much anything you want using these mantras. It's the name of the author is Thomas Ashley Farron, and this book is powerful. The goddess Lakshmi's in here. It's got a bunch of goddesses in this book. You can tap into a bunch of goddesses using this book. There's a couple mantras that I use to Lakshmi, you know what I'm saying, to create wealth and prosperity from this book. Also to kind of tap into the feminine energy and also kind of to raise the kundalini. It's a very powerful book, family. Again, Shakti Mantras. I want to let everybody see that, by Thomas Ashley Farron. Very, very powerful book. I'm going to read something from the back, like I always do. It says, throughout history, many people in the West have turned to God, the Father, for blessing and guidance. But in the East, the great feminine has always been held in high esteem, not as a secondary source of power, but as the primal power, the Shakti that flows through our body and all of nature. Centuries ago, the seers and sages of India observed that particular chanted prayers, Sanskrit mantras, connect us with this feminine energy and increase its potency. Now, with Shakti mantras, we can all benefit from this ancient practice. Thomas Ashley Farron, a Vedic priest, is an American expert in intricacies of Sanskrit mantra. With nearly 30 years and thousands of hours of experience in chanting, he is supremely well equipped to write the first book that teaches women and men as well to tap into the dynamic feminine energy of love and all its manifestations by sharing and chanting Hindu myths and astonishing true stories from his own practice. Ashley Farron helps us to understand the real power of this age. Old art awakens in those who perform it through dozens of actual mantras. Each one presented with phonetic spelling for easy pronunciation and recommendations for specific applications. He enables us to increase our Shakti power and use it to solve problems, ensure abundance, create health and well-being, summon protection, and invoke personal and universal peace. You know what I'm saying? Whether you're new to chanting or an old hand, Shakti mantras will take you places you've never been before and measurably enrich your life. So this book right here, family, is worth its weight in gold. Shakti mantras. Bobby turned me onto this book, I think about maybe 15 years ago. I've been reading it for a minute, and ever since I've been using these mantras, shit's been changing. Shit's been happening. So I recommend this for the number one book. You know what I'm saying? For the book review, Shakti mantras, because it's, like I said, it's full of mantras to help you tap into the feminine energy. And let me see. Let me read some from here, like I always do, family. Let me read a little something from here. And this is on page 53 in the book, and it's called The Power of Consciousness and Spiritual Growth. And it says, when you are inspired to get rid of a bad habit, you have decided to grow a little. The power of consciousness moved within you, stimulated the mental power of Jnana Shakti, and you suddenly decide to give up overeating, smoking, cursing, whatever. When you actually begin that practice, Ikka Shakti, the power of will takes over to bring the decision to completion. When you decide that you must compose a song that will lift everyone's heart or give some important message to the listening audience, again, the power of consciousness has moved within you. At first, Jnana Shakti is activated, then Kriya Shakti joins in as the creative power process begins. Together, Jnana Shakti and Kriya Shakti work through you, enable you to compose your song. So whatever you're trying to create or compose or whatever you're trying to do, you know what I'm saying? Use these mantras, family. They can change your life. You know what I'm saying? Use the book and let it transform your life, because it will if you use it. You know what I'm saying? This is number one. And I got 9 more to go because I'm doing a top 10 book review, because I had a couple subscribers that wanted me to do a top 5. So I said, you know what? I'm just going to do a top 10. I'll do one better. I'll just do a top 10. So that's the first one, Shakti mantras. Let me get that on there so everybody can see that. Powerful book, family. Powerful, powerful book. That's number one. All right. Number 2 is The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Now, this book right here, for a lot of people who might be having some trouble manifesting or wondering why whatever they're doing ain't working, this book will help you clear a lot of that stuff up. You know what I'm saying? This book will help you clear whatever mistakes or whatever complications you might be having in manifesting stuff in your life. This book right here is very powerful, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And this is by Joseph Murphy. Get that on there so everybody can see that. PhD. The Power of Your Subconscious Mind is a classic self-help book that has sold millions of copies. A writer of the same class as Napoleon Hill, Norman Vincent Peale, and Dale Carnegie, Dr. Joseph Murphy has helped millions of readers harness the immense power of their subconscious mind to positively influence their lives. You can achieve professional success, build wealth, strengthen relationships, increase your self-confidence, and even bring about changes to your physical well-being, all through the power of the mind. With practical and approachable lessons, Dr. Murphy shows that the power to change your life lies within you. You know what I'm saying? This book is powerful right here, because I've used this book myself. You know what I'm saying? I've gave this book to a few people. But this information right here come out of the Book of the Dead, out of ancient Egypt. That's a lot of people don't understand. This information right here comes right out of the Book of the Dead. And that's a whole nother video. But I just wanted to put that out there. Get that book. Get your hands on this book if you can. If you really want to transform yourself in your life, put your hands on that book right there. You know what I'm saying? Yes. Worth its weight in gold. Power of Your Subconscious Mind. Right there. That was book number 2. Book number 3 is going in a different area, but still powerful book. Blacked Out Through Whitewash by Dr. Suzar Epps. Right? And this book goes into so much. What it says is, ye shall know the truth, and the truth shall blow your mind. And it says, dear people of color, there is vital, earth-shaking knowledge about people of color, especially Black people, that has been suppressed, hidden, banned, distorted, stolen, obscured, lied about, denied, and outright destroyed. but is now coming to light as people of all colors in America and around the world awaken to the truth. Now hold on to your seat as I give you highlights and details. Powerful book right here. Dr. Suzar Epps. You know what I'm saying? It's a powerful, powerful book right here. I'm gonna read a little something from the back, like I always do. I'm gonna give you something like what she goes through. She says in the back of the book, "You have the right to remain deceived, the right to remain misled and ignorant, the right to drop this book like a hot potato when the truth becomes so searing to bear, melting the ice of quantum deception, composing the foundation of the culture of encompassing us. You also have the right to know the truth. If you prefer not to know the truth, you can gracefully back out right now and stop reading this book. That you are still reading is possible evidence that at least part of you is willing or brave enough to glimpse a portion of the truth. Beware, however, when the chick breaks forth from its eggs of ignorance, it cannot go back into its shell. For then on, its life permanently, irrevocably changed." Quite simply, this book is the greatest expose of the last 2 millenniums. This book exposes the quantum deception at the foundation of Western culture, religion, and history. It exposes the greatest cover-ups in history, along with the massive mind control and deception perpetrated in the name of the Lord. This book also recovers lost and suppressed melanated truths, vital truths promoting the health, healing, upliftment, liberation, kinship, and empowerment of all humanity. You know what I'm saying? Because the truth, you know what I'm saying, gives us the ability to free ourselves. That's what the truth does. That's how powerful the truth is. It gives us the ability to free ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So this book is powerful. If you never read it, family, get this book. I promise you. You get this book, it will change what you know. And if you already know it, it's just good. It's a good reference book to have. I mean, she got so much information in here. I mean, she went in this book. That's all I can say. She went in this book. So this book is Blacked Out Through Whitewash. Dr. Suzar Epps. Get it. It's worth its weight in gold. It's worth every dime, penny, quarter, and nickel. And then we got this little book right here by Eva Hartley. It's called Manifest and Receive. It's a little bitty book, but this book is full of gems. I want everybody to see that. It's full of gems, right? Eva Hartley. Matter of fact, I got this book. Who turned me on to this book was Brother Joseph. I think it was Brother Joseph I got this book from. And it's a powerful book because I started reading it, and that's when I really started to understand how to really manifest, how I knew that I could manifest stuff just using my own mind. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to look outside of myself or nothing. I could just get it from looking within myself. So Manifest and Receive blends modern neuroscience with timeless spiritual wisdom to show you exactly how to make this shift, not through magic, but through practical, repeatable steps. Inside, you'll learn how your subconscious mind controls up to 95% of your daily thoughts, feelings, and actions, and how to consciously retrain it. The brain science behind manifestation, including neuroplasticity, the reticular activating system, RAS, and emotional imprinting, how to identify and rewire limiting beliefs that block abundance, love, peace, and purpose. Why techniques like scripting, journaling, and somatic practices work to create lasting change. The role of your nervous system in receiving mode and how to regulate it using breathwork, movement, and simple rituals. Insights from spiritual traditions, including Christian mysticism, Sufism, Judaism, and Hinduism, showing how manifestation and receiving have always been a part of human spiritual practice. So this book gives you a pretty much a simple breakdown. Like if you're having some problems with manifesting things, and or you might even think it ain't even real, or you might not even think it is possible. But if you start doing the practicing in this book, you'll know it's real. It won't be no, it won't be no what's the word I'm looking for? It won't be no something false to you anymore. It'll be something very real. You know what I'm saying? So get this book by Eva Hartley. I think this is book number 3. Is this book number 3? 1, 2, 3. Yeah. No, 4. Yeah. This is book number 4, right? Going into book number 5. You know what I'm saying? And damn, this is 2026, family. It don't even feel like 2026. We already in 2026, but for me, I already know this ain't the new year. You know what I'm saying? I don't celebrate the new year. For me, the new year don't start until spring, until April, when everything's alive and things is coming alive. That's the new year for me. But people celebrate it when they want to. You know, I respect what anybody does. So, you know, if you celebrate that for the new year. But for me, the new year starts in April. You know what I'm saying? That's how I roll. And the next book is, this is number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, number 5. Gnostic Tarot. If you're interested in tarot, this book is really banging. You know what I'm saying? This is the playbook if you're interested in tarot at all. You know what I'm saying? This book right here, The Gnostic Tarot by Lee Irwin. Banging. Powerful. You know what I'm saying? Got taught me all kind of stuff when dealing with tarot. Like, you know, like pulling a card a day, or like pulling a card for the week, or pulling a card for the month, and also pulling a card for the year. Kind of helps you familiarize you with the symbols of tarot, kind of familiarize you with what alchemical meanings, those alchemical images mean. You know, it breaks down a lot of that. Powerful book right here. It says, Gnostic Tarot presents an exciting new path for people who want to use the tarot as a guide for spiritual development, not for prophecy and telling the future and all that, because that's secondary when it comes to tarot. It's really supposed to study the images and study what they mean to you and how they can change and improve your life. So, but anyway, that's a whole nother video. But the Gnostic Tarot presents an exciting new path for people who want to use the tarot as a guide for spiritual development. Lee Irwin synthesizes the more traditional forms of interpretation with 2 new esoteric methods based on the contemporary theories of Hermetic and Gnostic spirituality. He has developed 10 mandalas for you to use as a meditative structure for contemplating the interconnection between the natural elements and consciousness as reflected by the imagery of the cards. You know what I'm saying? So like I said, this book is for really, like, if you want to use tarot to transform or change, use it as a personal guide to help change things you may not want to change, or things that's no longer serving you about yourself. Using the tarot can help you do that. And it goes on to say that Irwin provides a detailed discussion of the esoteric history and structure of the tarot and explores the symbolism of the 4 suits, the inner minor court cards and the major minor cards, and the major arcana cards as illustrated by the Ravenswood and Waite decks. His well-written and deeply insightful interpretations of tarot imagery will inspire you to see the sacred in everything surrounding you. By using Irwin's mandalas, meditations, and visualization exercises, you can learn to align your physical, mental, and emotional life with your spiritual growth, to effect an alchemical transformation through the realization of your soul's purpose. So this book right here is real powerful, family. Don't sleep on this one right here. You can't sleep on this book. I promise you can't sleep on this book. And like, again, this is Gnostic Tarot by Lee Irwin. Mandalas for spiritual transformation. And like I said, they got spiritual exercises in this book, meditation exercises in this book. So many exercises in this book where, you know, you can use it to transform your life. You know what I'm saying? To get to the next level. And this next book right here goes on another level. It's on another subject, on a different subject. But still in the metaphysical and spiritual realm. You feel me? So we got here, Death of an Evil God. And this book right here might be kind of hard to find. Death of an Evil God by Dr. Joseph S. Chipalone. An explanation of the coming destruction and an expose of the evilness of religions. Let me put that up there. Death of an Evil God. Powerful, powerful book. This book will break down religion, what brought about religion, anything you think you know about religion, throw it away. When you get this book, you're going to have to throw it away. Anything you ever thought you knew about religion and what religion was, you're going to have to throw it away when you get this book. Let me put it up there again. Death of an Evil God by Joseph Chipalone. I'm not sure how you spell it. I think it's Chiappallone. Dr. Joseph S. Chipalone. Death of an Evil God, an explanation of the coming destruction and an expose of the evilness of religions. The title alone is powerful, family. Excuse me. Powerful. The title alone. The title alone is banging. You feel me? You got to get this book. It's going to be hard to find. It's probably going to be hard to find because, like I said, I got thousands and thousands of books. So these books ain't nothing for me. But it says, how often have you thought that the life of this planet is truly ridiculous and that the God in control is uncaring and crazy like many others have suggested? This earth does not run on love. It runs on hate, fear, and merciless, unrelenting exploitation. Till now, evil has controlled this plane. The churches deceitfully try to convince people that excuse me, the churches deceitfully try to convince people that only they can supply the truth, and yet all they have done is inflict guilt, pain, suffering, and punishment, and cause more conflict, disharmony, and war than anyone else. Why? The Bible is an evil, distorted collection of useless, garbled legends and myths. You must read this book to find out why this is so. Everyone has a right to know what is going on. Know then that this planet is being prepared for total disintegration. The plan of liberation is on schedule and will not be postponed. What news could be more exhilarating than the news of the end to all of this inhumanity, this pain and suffering, this physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual exploitation, degradation, degeneration, fear, injustice, and death? The answer is none. No other author has ever explained completely and in detail with such authority exactly what is occurring on earth today. This message is not one of doom, it is one of joy and liberation for the true beings. Simply be happy. It is the end of this miserable, evil world. This is a powerful book, family. The concepts in here are just real powerful. And you can see I got all kind of tabs in there. You feel me? Because I done been through this book like a few times. You know what I mean? But it's the concepts in here are very, very powerful for a lot of people that can grasp them. So you have to, you have to forgive me if you're not on this level. You know what I'm saying? You just have to forgive me if you're not on this level. But this is a very powerful book right here, family. It's a must-have in your library if you want to understand some of this stuff, right? And this is book number 5, I believe. Did I get to number 5 yet? Then the next book we got coming up is this book is on the level of mythology. I don't know if I got any of my mythology readers out there, but The Kingdom of the Gods by Jeffrey Hodson. This book goes into what can I say? It goes into the hidden wisdom. It goes into a little bit of the hidden wisdom in the Bible. It goes into a little bit of it goes into, because Jeffrey Hodson, this dude was a serious author. I got a few more. If you can find any more of his books with this guy, get them. If you can find any books with Jeffrey Hodson, that's GEOFFREYHODSON. If you can find any books with this dude's name on it, get them. I promise you, they worth their weight in gold. I promise you, they worth their weight in gold. But this dude, this is a heck of a work right here. The Kingdom of the Gods. That's all I can say. If you can get this book, you can find it, get it. Find Jeffrey Hodson. If you find that book, get it. Because it will take you to another level. It will take you to a whole nother level. Get that book if you can find it. And then another book in here. The title, don't let the title scare y'all. You know what I'm saying? Don't let the title scare you, but Pacts with the Devil. It's called Pacts with the Devil by S. Jason Black and Christopher S. Hyatt, PhD. Don't get scared. Don't get scared off by the title, y'all. Because what you're going to find out is when you start reading this book is this ain't nothing but a lot of African spiritual traditions or Black spiritual traditions or Black American, ancient indigenous American, Black ancient indigenous American spiritual traditions, which somebody was trying to keep us away from. So they labeled it with these labels. But when you get into it, you start realizing, dang, this ain't nothing but a bunch of black people stuff, right? But they give it these kind of names, right, to keep you away from it, to keep you away from your own stuff, right? But get the book and read it for yourself. Well, I'm going to read this. I'm going to read something from the back, though. You know what I'm saying? Give y'all a little insight on what's going on with this book. All right, it's called Pacts with the Devil, a chronicle of sex, blasphemy, and liberation. For the first time, a genuine manual of the dreaded left-hand path, braving the new witchcraft panic that has swept America, S. Jason Black and Christopher S. Hyatt have written a book that places the Western magical tradition and the Western psyche in perspective, sweeping aside both the historical fabrications of neo-paganism and the rampant mental illness of the religious right? Black and Hyatt explore history, psychology, and anthropology to reveal the true secret doctrine of Western culture. This work confronts the reader with his own fears and inhibitions and carries him beyond comprehensively illustrated Excuse me. Excuse me. Let me slow down. Let me slow down. I'm going a little bit fast. I'm getting ahead of myself a little bit. It says, sweeping aside both the historical fabrications of neo-paganism and the rampant mental illness of the religious right, Black and Hyatt explore history, psychology, and anthropology to reveal the true secret doctrine of Western culture. This work confronts the reader with his own fears and inhibitions and carries him beyond. And it says, this book is comprehensively illustrated. This volume contains a detailed history of the European black magic and includes new editions of the 17th and 18th century grimoires with detailed instructions for their use. So let me tell y'all what a grimoire is, first of all, for those who may not know what a grimoire is. A grimoire are these magical texts, ancient magical texts, right? And the grimoire means to cast a spell. So when the word grammar, which is what we learned in school, right? In grade school, we learn grammar, writing, English. But grammar, the word grammar comes from the word grimoire. And don't believe me, look it up for yourself. Do an etymology search on the word, and it'll show you all that. It'll show you all that. But yeah, the word grammar comes from the word grimoire, and the word grimoire means to cast a spell. So that means somebody might have been casting spells on us when we was all the way in grade school. We wasn't even recognizing it. But that's a whole nother video. But this book right here is deep, family. Get this book. Pacts with the Devil. S. Jason Black. Worth its weight in gold. Worth its weight in gold. Then we go into the next book. Thrice Great Hermes by G.R.S. Mead. This is Hermeticism. This is alchemical. This book right here just hits on so many levels. Because it's like an alchemical work. It's an ancient. It's a prophetical work. I mean, this book is worth its weight in gold. Again, Bobby recommended this book, so if you can get your hands on this book, get it. Thrice Greatest Hermes by G.R.S. Mead, and it says, this is the edition including all three books. The so-called Hermetic writings have been known to Christian writers for many centuries. The early church fathers, Justin Martyr, Tertullian, Clement of Alexandria, quote them in defense of Christianity. Stobaeus collected fragments of them. The humanists knew and valued them. They were studied in the 16th and 17th centuries, and in modern times have again been diligently examined by many scholars. G.R.S. Mead has issued a translation of the whole body of extant literature with extended prolegomena. I think that says prolegomena, commentary, etc. There's a wide difference of opinion as to the date at which this literature was produced. Mead believes that some of the extant portions of it are at least as early as the earliest Christian writings, while von Christ assigns them to the 3rd Christian century and thinks that they show the influence of Neoplatonism to affirm that they influence New Testament usage would be hazardous, but they perhaps throw some light on the direction in which thought was moving in New Testament times. This book is a must-have if you really want to understand the Bible and how it came about and all that. This is a must-have in your library. Again, Thrice Great Hermes by G.R.S. Mead. By G.R.S. Mead. I gotta get some water. Now we can draw all this talking. But yeah. And then this book right here. Bobby turned me on to this book too. Hamlet's Mill, for my mythology readers out there. Those who love to read mythology. Because like I said, mythology is some of the most advanced stuff on the planet. It's mythology. Because it's the only thing that you could read one year and come back and read it another year and get something totally different from it. You feel me? Get something totally different. So this is powerful stuff. But if you can get this book, get it. Hamlet's Mill. Hamlet's Mill. By Giorgio di Santillana and Hertha von Detchend. But let me put it on there so if anybody want to get it, they could read it for themselves. You know what I'm saying? That's why I do books, family. I always say that's why I love to do books. People can read this stuff for themselves. You know what I'm saying? They ain't got to believe nothing I say. They can get this stuff and read it for themselves. Excuse me. And let's see. Hamlet's Mill, an essay investigating the origins of human knowledge and its transmission through myth. You know what I'm saying? A lot of knowledge is transmitted through myth. And a lot of people just don't understand it because there's people that get PhDs in mythology. You know what I'm saying? people that actually get PhDs in mythology. And I wouldn't mind going back to school getting a PhD in mythology, actually. You know what I'm saying? I actually been contemplating it. But anyway, ever since the Greeks coined the language we commonly use for scientific description, mythology and science have developed separately. But what came before the Greeks? What if we could prove that all myths have common origin in a celestial cosmology? What if the gods, the places they lived, and what they did are but ciphers for celestial activity, a language for the perpetuation of a complex astronomical data? Drawing on scientific data, historical and literary sources, the authors argue that our myths are the remains of pre-literate astronomy and exacting science whose power and accuracy were suppressed and then forgotten by an emergent Greco-Roman worldview. This fascinating book throws into doubt the self-congratulatory assumptions of Western science about the unfolding development and transmission of knowledge. This is a truly seminal and original thesis, a book that should be read by anyone interested in science, myth, and the interaction between the two. And then it goes on to say, this is what the Washington Post wrote about the book. A book wonderful to read and startling to contemplate. If this theory is correct, both the history of science and the reinterpretations of myths have been enriched immensely. Immensely. Powerful book, family. Powerful, powerful book. For my mythology readers out there. You know what I'm saying? Those who like to dive into the myths of everything. And then last but not least is this guy right here. And I saved this one for last for a reason. American Bloodlines of the Gods and Civilization by the legendary Top Cats. Must have in your library. Because this land that we said, this land of America belongs to the blacks, to the black man and woman, to the womb man. And always have. Ancient America was ours. And it will be ours again, but it's maybe in another form. But like I said, it will be ours again. But Top Cats did a hell of a job on this work. And, you know, y'all should get it if y'all want to understand how this land really belongs to you. You know what I'm saying? And that truth is coming out more and more every day. You know what I'm saying? This land belongs to you and me. So get this book, American Bloodlines of the Gods and Civilization, legendary Top Cats. I'm going to read something from the back. It said, what if the gods of ancient mythology were not just a figment of human imagination, but a real and tangible presence in human history? What if the indigenous peoples of ancient America were not just a primitive culture, but the true inheritors of a divine bloodline that stretches back to the earliest days of human civilization? These provocative questions are explored in America, the bloodline of the gods and civilization, drawing on a vast array of historical, archaeological, genealogy, and spiritual evidence. This book makes the case that the ancient world's gods were not distant and aloof, but actively involved in human affairs, guiding, inspiring, and sometimes punishing their mortal subjects. Though an exploration of the myths, legends, and religious practices of ancient American cultures, we see how these societies had deep reverence for the divine and the belief in gods who interacted with humans in tangible ways. But the evidence for a divine connection goes beyond mythology and religion. Through an examination of the archaeological record, we see how the art, architecture, and artifacts left behind by ancient Americans reveal a profound understanding of the spiritual world. And through the analysis of the genetic and anthropological, through an analysis of the genetic and anthropological evidence, we see how ancient Americans' unique physical features and cultural practices suggest a biological connection to a divine lineage. Ultimately, America, a bloodline of the gods of civilization, offers a bold and compelling argument for the why the indigenous peoples of ancient America are the true inheritors of a divine bloodline that stretches back to the earliest days of human civilization. By synthesizing evidence from multiple disciplines and perspectives, this book provides a new and illuminating perspective on the ancient American past and its enduring significance for today's world. Fire. This book right here is fire. Must have in your library. You know what I'm saying? So that's the top 10, y'all, I did for today. You know what I'm saying? I ain't been on here for a while, but I will be back every week now. We in 2026. And I want to give a shout out to my man Chase. That's but one of my dudes been hitting me up. I've been working with him and teaching him magic. And I want to give a shout out to Chase. I call him Chase the Magician. Shout out to him. And if anybody like a reading from me, hit me up. I'll leave my email in the description box. But get these books, family, because these books is going to raise your vibration. It's going to raise your knowledge level. It's going to help make you more knowledgeable, more sensible, help you make better decisions, in my opinion. So get these books. Again, my name is Michael Jordan, a.k.a. the Sirius Alchemist. If you would like a reading from me, hit me up. I do fire readings. And before I go, I'm going to play a video of Bobby real quick, because Bobby, I wanted people to listen to Bobby, because Bobby will drop some knowledge, explains a lot of things in this part right here. So I'm going to let Bobby explain this real quick.
Understand what I'm saying? So one is a political system that was devised by a group of people that want to keep a control over people in a certain society.
That's right. That's right.
And the other one is a spiritual system, which has nothing to do with what you do morally or social behavior, because you learned that from growing up in your society. You understand where I'm coming from? You get this? Now try to understand this particular part. Spirit told us that those books came about because they knew prophecy. They knew that the white man was coming out of an ice box and coming out of a cave. They didn't have no form of a civilization and behavior. And he would need a guidebook to go about just to learn how to be human. So therefore, a lot of this stuff was encoded into the Bible, which makes sense to me, because look what he did to the world with the damn Bible. Can you imagine what this beast would do if he didn't have no code of ethics? Hell, he damn near broke every law known to man on the planet to this day with the Bible. As a matter of fact, the devil in the book don't even go with the white man, because the devil in the book is a damn Mickey Mouse. They got to create a new mythological character to deal with this white boy, because we ain't never had nothing in mythology to this day to describe what diabolical shit this motherfucker doing. You name it. You understand what I'm saying? You name it. 90% of the foods you eat on the planet now is all artificial. You see what I'm saying? And don't fuck around no more and go to these Japanese and Chinese restaurants.
Oh, yeah.
Those are cats and rats.
Yes, sir.
Those are rats. That's a whole nother story. I got a lecture on that shit recently. Those are rats they eat. The Mexicans came over and they know how to make a rat as big as a chicken. Mexicans now work for the Chinese, and they started, and so what it is a cut. So and then the CDC got in on it. And so what they started doing is they started serving rats. It's a delicacy over there, where they are. In China, if it moves, they eat it. That's on National Geographic. So they start serving rats, and the CDC say, good, serve them to niggers. And then and then you go to the underground, you'll see, if you go to the underground now, you'll see on the food court, you'll see everybody with a toothpick. Used to be one Chinese, Japanese place with a toothpick. Now everybody got toothpick. You can walk around the food court and eat the food, and by the time you get to the end of the food court, you can be full. Yeah. That's because most of that shit is rat. Because they make them as big as chickens now. The CDC is in on it too to see what they do to get the movie Demolition Man. They was eating rat.
Right.
And they say, you see any cows around here?
Exactly.
Now the reason why I know, I just did a lecture 2 weeks ago in Columbia, South Carolina, and the sister said they was on the news telling niggas not to kill these rats, because they got rats now running around as big as dogs and cats. Because the Mexicans is done, Mexicans are everywhere, and they know how to feed them to make them big. And they say, well, don't feed them. They say, because the Mexicans use them for their chili and their tacos. That's why Taco Bell was all up in damn Demolition Man.
That's right.
And so I said, wait a minute, hold on. Why did the damn news come on? NBC News down in Columbia, South Carolina, Channel 10 will come on and say, don't poison the rats because the Mexicans use them for chili and food. Instead of telling the damn Mexicans, look, you motherfuckers don't be eating no rats because these niggas is going to poison them. But it was the other way around. That's because they're serving them shits in the restaurants too. And they don't want people to get killed with the wrong people walking in and get a poison rat. That's what I'm trying to say. In the Asian food, where you got all that shit chopped up, and since everything tastes like chicken anyway,
There you go. There you go.
don't eat no motherfucking I'll tell you, don't eat none of that Asian food, man. Cause that shit, and the soy products now, they got a synthetic, it's called genetically modified soybean, and it shuts down melanin.
Yeah.
That's a whole other thing. We'll get into that in a few minutes. But the point I was making was here is that white man needed the Bible in a code book just to learn how to behave, because he didn't have the behavior. And look what the motherfucker did with the book. You know what I'm saying? We got the land, he got the Bible, now we got the Bible and he got the land. And that's been the world supremacy all over. And that's why this Pope down was great. Because the papacy has been one of the worst realms and even sanctioned slavery.
Right.
You see what I'm saying?
He's a Nazi too.
And the new one is a doggone Nazi.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? The old one helped smuggle, gave the cyanide pills supposedly to Hitler, but we don't even know that because they can't find Hitler's body. They say Hitler died in the 50s or something. They smuggled him out of there. And they said on the History Channel they had so many lookalikes.
And just to share with you, when I was in Germany, this girl I was with at the time, her and her brother told me that Hitler was staying in California.
I would agree because Hitler was a part of cult society, and the biggest people in the occult in America at that particular time was the people out in California. Out in California. That's why Master Farad Muhammad, whatever it was, which was a real person actually, he was out in California before he went to, and he was out there teaching some white folks out in one of the schools out in California, and he used them to finance his trip, and he doubled back and went to down New York, went to Detroit, and started teaching the black people there. And the white folks was mad, was trying to kill his ass because he used their money to get over there to teach them, and he taught them for a couple of years, and then they hauled ass over here because everybody was looking for a spiritual master from the east, and he used them to get over here at one of them occult societies and stuff like that in California, and then haul ass to Detroit. And once they found out, when Elijah Muhammad surfaced, and they found out when they tracked him, they had a worldwide manhunt. When the government tracked him, they found out he was in Detroit. He had taught these black people for 3 years, and then they was trying to kill his ass. And that's what that shit was about. So yeah, California was real big based on that. You're right. Hitler survived that whole thing. Hitler survived that type of stuff. Okay. Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, give me. Go ahead. It's all. That's what we're here for.
When you said when you were going through the libation, and I was going Yashe. When you said Lucifer, I went Yashe because in my mind immediately I went to the morning star.
Right. That was the part I was getting ready to say that I forgot. In the Bible.
Sirius, because you didn't say Satan. You didn't say Satan.
Well, no, even that.
But you went to Gorgon. You went to Medusa. You went to
Right.
Pegasus, which is a flying horse.
Yeah, all Pegasus, all that. Yeah.
And then you didn't go. You didn't say Jesus, but you said Athena and you said Artemis, I think. And
yeah.
So, but basically, but Jesus is Greek for God Zeus, and you didn't.
Jesus.
And you didn't introduce.
I didn't do Zeus because Zeus is a demiurge. We're gonna get into that in a few minutes, but I want to piggyback off of what you said here. Two things. In the Bible, Lucifer appears in Genesis as the morning star. By the time you get to Revelation, Jesus is the morning star.
Right, that's true. Right.
You see what I'm saying?
Right.
Is the morning star.
Right.
So,
The mystery here is
instant. That's why I say, you know.
right. See, if you're talking about formula, see, even the damn priest that put this together understood this. Okay, you look at this. Two incidents, and one is the same Jesus story. They say that what Job wrestled with the angel all night, and in daybreak, Jacob wrestled with the angel all night, and in daybreak, he saw the face of God, which was called what? Pineal gland. Pineal. Pineal in Kemet is called Heru, light. Heru in Kemet is called great face. Heru in Greek is called hero, which means what? The great face, face of God. So Heru is face of God. You see what I'm saying? Pineal is the great face of God. You see what I'm saying? Now, Jesus conquers Satan. When you conquer something, it's not talking about a physical fight. When you conquer something, you synthesize. So you say, I have conquered mathematics. You understand what I'm saying? Satan in the darkness is the ancient primordial realm that he doesn't know about because he hadn't gone through it. So it's seen as evil, prime evil. It's just those mysteries, or it is those energies that are dormant that you don't know anything about it. When you conquer it, you become it or you synthesize it. So in so many words, what this is talking about, Old Testament, New Testament, old body, new body. The ancient priests, okay, now let's get this right. The ancient priests understood this thing as being not good and evil, but different formulas. Now, so to break this down, the ancient priests, you got your exoteric religions, and you have the esoteric spirituality. The exoteric Christianity is Christianity, you know, Jesus and on the cross and all that. The esoteric Christianity is Gnosticism. That's where it came from, because it came out of the Egyptians had this thing in Coptic Egypt. They even had a Jesus there. And the Romans took their stuff, made the New Testament out of these Gnostic texts, and then killed off the Gnostics. See, when the Gnostics said, hey, wait a minute, we got this Jesus, and there ain't no man walking around no damn Jerusalem or no Rome with no Herod and all that shit. It's talking about Horus and the end of this and all this, and they said, kill them motherfuckers off. You see what I'm saying?
Okay, we're going to end it there, family. We're going to end it right there. I got stuff I got to do tonight, so I'm going to end it. I appreciate everybody that tuned in tonight, you know what I'm saying? And again, my name is Michael Jordan, a.k.a. the Sirius Alchemist. If you'd like to read from me, hit me up. My email will be down in the description box. I do tarot readings. I do astrology readings. If you're interested, hit me up. Again, y'all have a good night. Appreciate y'all tuning in. See you in the next video. Peace.